Subscribe this channel for more movie news, movie reviews, comics, trailer reviews, top lists. Let's get into the video. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness's new Super Bowl trailer reveals new multiverse threats, shocking character cameos and a lot of action. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness gets a full trailer during the 2022 Super Bowl, revealing 10 exciting details regarding its story and characters. As the multiverse grows in prominence within the MCU, the upcoming Doctor Strange sequel will place the concept front and center once more, continuing story threads from its predecessor and Spider-Man: No Way Home, as well as the MCU's Disney and shows. The Doctor Strange 2 Super Bowl trailer promises not only monsters and Doctor Strange variants but also at least one familiar face from another Marvel film franchise. While Doctor Strange became a sorcerer in his first solo outing, he solidified his position as master of the mystic arts in Avengers: Infinity War and Avengers: Endgame, where he proved invaluable to the Avengers in their battles against Thanos. Doctor Strange 2 will give Stephen Strange his greatest challenge yet, as the ramifications from his universe-altering spell in No Way Home will put his reality and others in jeopardy once more. Doctor Strange won't be alone, however. Joining Doctor Strange and Wong will be Wanda Maximoff, now the Scarlet Witch, still coming to terms with her heartbreaking character arc in WandaVision. Doctor Strange 2 will also see the MCU debut of America Chavez, a Marvel Comics superhero from another reality, who becomes a defender of the mainstream universe. With the multiverse unleashed once more, it's not surprising that at least one variant of Doctor Strange, known as Defender Strange, will aid the mainstream version as well. Doctor Strange's Nightmare. The Doctor Strange 2 trailer begins with Benedict Cumberbatch's Stephen Strange speaking of a reoccurring nightmare where he sees a dilapidated sanctum sanctorum surrounded by skeletal remains. The film is said to be the MCU's first outing in the horror genre, as well as featuring the return of Sam Raimi to superhero adaptations. Raimi is famous among Marvel fans for his phenomenal Spider-Man trilogy, but he's also celebrated for his work in the horror genre, with the Evil Dead films being particularly beloved. This is presumably an insight into the nightmare dimension and not just a vision in Strange's imagination. Doctor Strange 2 sees the fall of Kamar-Taj throughout the Doctor Strange 2 trailer. There are shots of the magical realm of Kamar-Taj seemingly under attack from a dark force. This manifests at one point as a black cloud descending on the temple-like home of the master of the mystic arts, and sadly, it doesn't look like the battle goes in favor of the sorcerers as explosions rip through the scenes. America Chavez's powers. First look. The first shot of new Marvel hero America Chavez reveal her multiversal powers in the form of the star-shaped portal torn in the fabric of the universe behind her as she is bound by what initially appears to be Doctor Strange's crimson bands of Sidorak spell. On closer inspection, the restraints belong to a mysterious multiversal demon. America Chavez versus a multiverse monster. Early on in the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness Super Bowl trailer, a multiversal monster restrains America Chavez, which all appears to happen within Stephen Strange's nightmare. It's unknown how Doctor Strange 2 will change America Chavez's origin, but she clearly already has her own powers and seems to already be traversing the multiverse alone. Chavez is seen throughout the rest of the trailer, showcasing her super strength from the comics. However, Chavez also possesses the powers of flight, enhanced durability, and interdimensional travel, and will be played by Xochitl Gomez. Multiverse of Madness. Defender Strange revealed in a blink and you'll miss it moment. New multiverse variant Defender Strange appears to be sucked through one of America Chavez's portals. Sporting a new costume and distinctive white strips in his hair, he appears to be another multiverse identity for Benedict Cumberbatch's sorcerer. The gash on his forehead suggests he too ends up battling the monster that captures Chavez. The Doctor Strange 2 Super Bowl TV spot also included a better look at Defender Strange. No Way Home Ramifications. The trailer also explains that, despite Doctor Strange's repairs to the fabric of reality in No Way Home, his botched spell to make the world forget about Peter Parker's secret identity still had a lasting impact on the multiverse. Spider-Man's villains who knew his secret identity and other Peter Parker variants were pulled into the mainstream MCU, but other dangers might have slipped through the cracks of the multiverse as well. Whatever damage that the Green Goblin did when he destroyed Doctor Strange's Machina de Chavez might have also done damage to the multiverse. Wong is beaten up in Doctor Strange 2. It may be a brief moment, but the first shot of Benedict Wong's new Sorcerer Supreme Wong is shown to be beaten up. This could come after the fall of Kamar-Taj, or may simply reflect how dangerous the world has become since Doctor Strange opened up the world to all manner of multiversal threats. The MCU multiverse is finally open, for real, taking Doctor Strange's effects to an even greater limit in what looks like a stunning set piece. Director Sam Raimi uses the multiverse to destroy Doctor Strange's New York. While this could be part of his vision, the destruction of his home would be the perfect catalyst for Strange to head into the multiverse in search of answers. Dr. Christine Palmer's wedding. The Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness Super Bowl trailer also shows Dr. Christine Palmer, Rachel McAdams, Stephen Strange's friend, colleague, and love interest, possibly getting married, with Strange not being the groom. Considering that Strange died during Thanos' snap and wasn't resurrected until 5 years later, Palmer may have survived and moved on. The scene likely takes place early in the film, before the monstrous entities from the multiverse invade Strange's reality. Rintrah prepares for the attack on Kamar-Taj. Rintrah, a minotaur-like creature, is shown among the other masters of the mystic arts as an ominous cloud gathers around them. Rintrah is a Doctor Strange supporting character from the comics, who briefly served as Strange's apprentice. It's unknown how large of a role Rintrah will have in Doctor Strange 2. Like America Chavez, Rintrah hails from another reality in the comics. Since the first Doctor Strange showed that the masters of the mystic arts derive their powers from alternate realities, it's not surprising that one of their members comes from a different universe, even before Strange unleashes the multiverse. Doctor Strange pays for his multiverse crimes. While some may believe that Strange being forced to stand trial for his crimes after simply trying to help Peter Parker get into college may be a bit of a stretch. The cost of that fateful No Way Home spell are already obvious by this point. The sorcerer is clapped in high-tech shackles, suggesting that there is another police force looking after the sanctity of the timelines, seemingly with even greater power than the TVA. Their identity for now appears to remain hidden. Strange's trial for the desecration of reality. Doctor Strange is led through what seems to be a facility belonging to whoever has arrested him, seemingly Mordo, give his voiceover, but his former friend's voiceover has interesting implications. Mordo states that Strange's desecration of reality won't go unpunished. While Mordo may be referring to his own judgment, he might also be allied with the Time Variance Authority, which monitors and neutralize multiversal threats. Strange's actions would certainly qualify, and characters from Loki are rumored to appear in Doctor Strange 2. Doctor Strange's captors are using Iron Legion drones as promised. By the end of 2016's Doctor Strange, Karl Mordo returns, seeking to rid the world of magic. Mordo appears to have captured Doctor Strange, restraining him with a squad of what appear to be Tony Stark's Iron Legion drones, albeit with a look more reminiscent of Ultron. Whether they were reprogrammed after the Sokovian battle remains to be seen, but it seems more likely that these drones are in the service of security and protection and could have been brought here from a timeline in which Ultron was never able to corrupt them. Exciting, that would hint at the return of Iron Man to the MCU. The Illuminati debut in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. After heavy rumors suggested they would be coming to the MCU, it appears that Doctor Strange 2 includes the debut of the Illuminati, the supremely powerful group of superheroes charged by their founder, Tony Stark, with collectively protecting the universe. In this version, it appears that remit has been expanded to include protecting the entire multiverse. The members, for now, remain mostly under wraps, but it would seem logical that Mordo is one of them. The return of Patrick Stewart as Professor X in easily the most shocking and exciting moment of the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness trailer. Sir Patrick Stewart returns as Professor Charles Xavier, also known as Professor X. Stewart's version of the X-Men founder first appeared in 20th Century Fox's X-Men from 2000. Stewart reprising his iconic role in the MCU isn't surprising, given the multiversal premise of Doctor Strange 2 and the multiverse heroes and villains in No Way Home. While Stewart's voice in Doctor Strange 2's trailer is unmistakable, the footage doesn't offer a clear look at Professor X, perhaps saving it for another trailer or the film's theatrical release. Doctor Strange and America Chavez travel through time. Stephen Strange and America Chavez are also shown floating through a plane of reality filled with dinosaurs, suggesting that the heroes will travel through time as well as the multiverse. Another possibility is that Strange and Chavez are visiting the Savage Lando from Marvel Comics. In the MCU, the famous locale may not be hidden on Earth but in a different dimension instead. The multiverse, and Doctor Strange, is falling apart. In another nightmarish sequence reminiscent of Doctor Strange's forced epiphany moment, when Strange sprouted many tiny hands, a brief flash shows Cumberbatch's sorcerer succumbing to a particularly painful-looking reality-bending spell. Quite how it happens is unclear, but the blockhead effect is a stunning testament to how far the effects team are pushing Sam Raimi's sequel. Strange Supreme threatens the Doctor as shown in the first Doctor Strange teaser at the end of No Way Home. An evil variant of Stephen Strange, also played by Benedict Cumberbatch, will appear in Doctor Strange 2. It's unknown if this evil version of Strange will be the same variant seen in Marvel's What If, Strange Supreme, or a new variant. Strange Supreme redeemed himself in the season finale of What If, making this strange variant a potential ally. In either case, Doctor Strange fighting a sinister variant of himself will make for an exciting and surreal sequence. A mysterious glowing figure later in the trailer, a glowing human figure flies through a kaleidoscopic plane of reality. Some might suspect that this figure is the Human Torch or another character from Doctor Strange's comics. With the multiverse unleashed once again, the figure may end up being a hero from another reality, like Professor X from the Fox X-Men films, but there's a good chance this is Monica Rambeau in her full multiverse Captain Marvel variant look. Scarlet Witch vs Captain Marvel, whether the flaming figure, who clearly has a stunning level of power, is indeed a new Captain Marvel or not, they attack Wanda Maximoff. If it's Monica, that sets up a tantalizing rematch from WandaVision. And it appears they're both equally powerful at this point, and equally capable of incredible damage. Gargantos, the multiverse monster also shown in the trailer is Gargantos, a fittingly named gargantuan tentacled monster. Gargantos is shown fighting America Chavez and throwing a bus at Doctor Strange at various points in the trailer. While Gargantos is likely a monster from another dimension in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, the creature is an enemy of Namor the Submariner in the comics. Gargantos' inclusion in Doctor Strange 2 further fuels speculation that Namor will debut in MCU Phase 4. A Doctor Strange memorial. Towards the end of the trailer, Doctor Strange is shown gazing at a statue of himself while the voice of Wanda Maximoff scoffs at Strange being viewed as a hero when he breaks the rules. If Strange travels through time as well as the multiverse, he may be looking at New York City long after his demise. If the statue is any indication, Strange will be viewed as a hero after his passing, despite his reckless and potentially catastrophic actions. Wanda returns to Westview, with Scarlet Witch in a surprise moment. Elizabeth Olsen's Wanda Maximoff returns to her and Vision's home in Westview, from WandaVision despite its destruction at the end of the Phase 4 show. Wanda, now the Scarlet Witch, continues her comparison with Doctor Strange by stating that she was looked at as a villain when she broke the rules. Although Maximoff was understandably stricken with grief over the loss of Vision, she did control the minds of an entire town, causing unimaginable pain and loss of agency, so it's not unreasonable for her victims to villainize her. Despite this, Strange's actions have potentially doomed the multiverse, yet nobody frames him as a villain. Maximoff's words imply that her role in Doctor Strange 2 might not fully be as Stephen Strange's ally Mordo fights Doctor Strange. Towards the end of the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness Super Bowl trailer, Karl Mordo is shown attacking a restrained Doctor Strange. Given Mordo's newfound mission and his comic counterpart's animosity towards Stephen, his clash with Strange isn't surprising. Mordo, for better or worse, has more justification for his mission than before, due to the catastrophic ramifications of Doctor Strange's multiversal tampering. Considering the friendship that Strange and Mordo had in the first film, however, there is a possibility that the two will become allies once more to defend Earth from a greater threat than either of them could handle alone. Scarlet Witch has lost a fight despite WandaVision showing Scarlet Witch to have received a significant power boost thanks to her battle with Agatha Harkness. Doctor Strange 2 will see Wanda beaten and bloodied in one of the seemingly many fight sequences. It's a haunting look for Wanda, and even has a hint of the undead about it, which is fitting for how the trailer ends. Zombie Strange. Or is it Nightmare? One of the final shots of the trailer shows an unsettling image of what appears to be yet another Doctor Strange variant. This Stephen Strange appears to have melded with shadowy creatures from another universe, corrupting him into a zombie. While likely a variant, this zombie Doctor Strange may be the mainstream version in some form of torture or corruption. Like the rest of the new character and story revelations in the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness trailer, this moment teases an entertainingly horrific second solo outing for Doctor Strange. Interestingly, the Super Bowl TV spot showed a clearer look at zombie Doctor Strange. See you soon, ta-ta.